Guys, today is one of those days. Today is Thursday. It is January 4th, 2018. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's snowing like hell out there. Well, how can we say hell? It's not snowing like hell because it doesn't snow in hell, as far as I know anyway. Maybe there's something I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know, but at that point, let's assume that it's not snowing in hell, so we won't use that analogy. How about, like, it's snowing like in Alaska? So meanwhile, it's cold. Just how cold is it? Let me tell you. I'll give you a second, give me a minute, and I'll tell you. It is 24 degrees Fahrenheit outside, 51 in here. Okay, which isn't too bad in here actually. So these came in on Tuesday, and my wife didn't give them to me until last night. Why is that, you ask? Well, that's what I'd like to know. So, what had happened was, we don't always get out to the mailbox. Now, it's not that it's that far away. It's only about 30 feet from the door. But I don't always go out there to check the mail. The wife usually will check it if she remembers when she comes home from work. And that's basically it. Well, I didn't check it Tuesday. Shame on me. My wife didn't check it Tuesday when she came home from work. So when she went to work on Wednesday morning, she checked it then. And whatever mail was in the box from Tuesday, she took with her to work on Wednesday instead of coming back up to the door. And that's what happened. So last night, when she came home from work, she gave me Tuesday's mail, which was a Wednesday night. So, meanwhile, what these are a pain in the ass to pronounce, in my opinion anyway. They're called toroids. Toroids. T-O-R-O-I-D. Toroids. Now, what is a toroid? A toroid. A toroid? If I say that enough, I'm going to mess it all up. Meanwhile, what these are actually different numbers, different values, believe it or not, even though they may look the same. You may pick one up that looks another one just like this, but may be different. So you want to make sure you go by what the numbers are. This is what I need to make myself a long wire antenna, an end-fed long wire. Meaning the wire is going to come in off one of the receivers, or scanner in this case. That's what I was going to make this for. I was going to make a long wire antenna for the SDRPlay shortwave receiver that ties into the computer. And in order to do that, you can run just a wire, but it's best to make yourself a little balun, a B-A-L-U-N, and you need one of these to do so. Now, you don't need to know what you're doing to do this. All you gotta do is watch YouTube. Alright? If you're into listening to a shortwave radio, a radio in general, especially something you're just receiving on, or you do want to do some transmitting on it or such. Okay, the charger's on. These are relatively simple. What you do is you get on the turn down some of this radio stuff. You get on YouTube, and there's a 9 to 1, a 1 to 1, a 1 to 4, a 4 to 1, whatever, which are all different, depending on the toroid and the wrappings of the toroid, because you got to wrap wire around these, and the difference in how many wires and how many wraps will make a difference. Almost like if you look at the little transformers on, sometimes you'll see all those little wires wrapped around it thousands and thousands of times. So, well, we don't have to go thousands and thousands of times. You know, maybe 9 wraps, 10 wraps. But you get on YouTube and just look up Balun, B-A-L-U-N, 9 to 1, 4 to 1, 1 to 1, and it'll basically, somebody out there will give you an idea on how these things are put together and for what. So you look up as to what you may want to use it for. I want to use it for a shortwave receive antenna. So you type in shortwave receive Baluns or something like that, and bingo, you got somebody there telling you how to do it. So once I get this started, I will do a video on it. There's thousands of them out there, but I'll do another video. I'll make it 1001, and that's it. So meanwhile, that's that. So these came in. I'm still waiting for some others to come in. Others. Oh, by the way, a friend of mine, I may have told you, may not have told you, he's the past commander. At one time, he used to work for the Swiss Army Company, which at one time had a place here in Connecticut. I don't know if they still do or whatever. But he had given me a knife. Actually, he gave me 2. I gave the other one to the wife. It's a little smaller. It's more of a keychain knife. It's got a little pair of scissors on it. It's not the little tiny one. It's the next size up from that. But yeah, that was nice of him. I don't carry knives really. I do keep one in my pocket now because I'm always out in the yard doing something, and you always need a knife. But up until a couple of years ago, when I really started getting active in the yard and things, I never had a need for a knife. So I never really got into it. Now I got knives laying all over the place. I can see how easy it can be. Hey, Duff, you're full of snow. How easy it can be to get addicted. Hold on, guys. I'm getting Duffy a treat. Okay, buddy? Addicted to collecting them because of the different types and styles and so on and so forth. But I really can't say. Yeah, let me see. I started out in the house today working. My hands are filthy because I was already in the house doing shit. I can't say because it's early in the morning, so my hands are a mess. But again, I've been doing crap in the house. But meanwhile, I can't say I really have, or, well, I guess I do have hobbies, but where I collect things that I'm never going to use, if you know what I mean. I always have a use, and therefore that starts the hobby. And then I start, and then the next thing you know, I'm out of control. But I use them, you know. And then I grow bored of it after a while, because that's the way I am. And then I will find something else to do, or find to buy and like, and then start to gather those up. That's how I end up with all this crap laying around, because I'm always doing things. I get bored easily. Yeah, if I went to a doctor and told him that I get bored easily, I'm sure he would come up with a name for it. HD or whatever. But I like to keep active. Once I figured something out and I know I can do it, doesn't have to be done perfectly, but I know that I can do it if I have to do it, then I'm tired of it. The challenge is over. And that's kind of what happens with me. You know, we bought the boat. Well, you know what? I bought a little 23-footer. Long story, I'll just make it quick. One day I'm sitting at the house and I told the wife, I'd like to buy a boat. She looks down over her glasses at me like, okay, you're nuts. You know, so I kind of let it go. And at that point, once I kind of let it drop for a while, I thought about it again. So I started looking around in the local area that we were in, and I found a real nice 23, well, it was actually 24 foot, 27 overall, but a 24 foot Sun Runner. It was an offspring from a Sea Ray. One of the Sea Ray guys apparently left the company, you know, the same story, and came out with this of his own called the Sun Runner. I guess to take the place of a Sun Dancer, you know, that the Sea Ray had made. But meanwhile, the guy wanted $11,000 for it. And I'm talking to him, and naturally everything is negotiable. You know, asking price and getting price. So, at the time, actually this number that I'm going to tell you is a lucky number for me. I says to him, listen, I wasn't really prepared, you know, to start, but I had $9,000 in my pocket. And I says to him, listen, I got $9,000 in my pocket. Now, not to sound like a jerk, but that's what I used to carry around with me. That was my pocket money. Because you never know when a deal is going to come up. You know what I mean? And you need cash for deals sometimes. You can't make deals with credit cards or debit cards, especially back then. So I had $9 in my pocket. So I said, I'll give you the $9. I says, here, Tuck. And the slip is paid for the year. I want to be able to keep it here. He said, okay, a deal. So I bought the boat. I bring it home. My wife looks at me like, okay. She wanted to pull the trigger. But, right. But I lucked out, and everything was fine. Next year we put it in the water, because this was near the end of the year. That's a really good time to buy a boat near the end of the year, because people don't want to winterize them and put them away for the winter. So that's a good time to buy a boat. So I brought it home. You know, it was in the water, so I tested it and all. We brought it home. I didn't have it surveyed. It was a 24-footer. Brought it home, winterized it, putzed around with it all winter, put it in the water in the spring. Well, by the end of that summer, we had gotten rid of it and bought a 32-foot. And now the wife was in on it, so we got a 32-footer now. But I'm not going to continue with that story until later. Let me let you go for now. Alright, so here's what I'm doing. Now, there's more to it than what I'm doing here, but I'm just giving you an idea. I use an antenna app. It's called Antenna Tools. It's just that little thing right there. Boombo. And I'm just going to put in 88. Done. Because I want to get an idea. I want to get an idea on lengths. What length do I need in order to transmit or receive within a certain frequency span? So I just typed in 88.0, and it tells me If I want to run a dipole, I need a total of 5 feet, 3 inches, and 13/16. So 5, 3, 13/16. The legs should be half of that, which will be 2 feet, 7.15/16. So for 88, I'm going to want to go somewhere around 2.7 feet. So now, let's type in another frequency here, just for shits and giggles. Let's just say 102.9. Well, that's telling me I need 4 feet total, 4 feet 6 inches total, almost 4 feet 7 inches, and 2 feet 3 inch 5/16. So let's go 102.9. I'm just throwing numbers in here, just to get an idea what's going on. All right, and that's going to be somewhere around the same. That's going to be about 2.3 feet. And let's back this up and let's try something else. Let's try 146. And 146 is giving me 3 feet total, 1 foot. Okay, so 146 is giving me 1 foot, 0.7 1/4 inches, which is about 19 inches. That's 2 meters. It's about 19 1/4 inches, give or take. All right. So let's back that up again. Let's go to 222 point. That's going to give me 1 foot. The higher you go, the shorter the antenna. So 222 is 1 foot 5/8 inches. You hear that wind? Man, that is kicking butt. Alright. That was turning my wind turbine so fast that it started to vibrate. Okay, so we got the 2.7, we got the 2.3, we got the 46 one. Let's go 4,400. 440. That's going to be 1 inch. 1 foot rather. Okay, so we're going to need about 6 3/8. Okay, now let's step it up a little bit. Let's go 14.300. Now we got 16 feet. 114. No, not 14. 114. What the fuck? Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. 114.300. Okay. That's going to give me, let's scratch that off the equation. 114.3. That's going to give me 2 9/16. So this is kind of an idea. There's a lot more involved, believe me, but this is kind of an idea of what's going on here and trying to figure out the lengths of the frequency. Now there's a way you can do it mathematically. You know, you times your frequency into a number and you get a blah 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 blah. But this way is a lot easier. So where the hell to go? Antenna tools, like I say, that works pretty good. So meanwhile, back at the ranch, turn some of this stuff up again. Man, that was kicking ass on that wind turbine, huh? So meanwhile, that's kind of an idea on what we're looking to accomplish here. So meaning, if I needed, where it was saying before, we'll say hypothetically 5 feet on a dipole, that means I would need 2.5 feet on this end, 2.5 feet on this end. You follow me? So that would give me my antenna. The wire would come up and tie into it. The hot on one side, the ground on the other. Shield and center. And that's kind of how that works. Now sometimes the bowing is needed, and that's what comes in handy to keep everything uniform, everything tuned in. But at this point, we're going to work with what we have here and see what comes up. So it gives you an idea anyway.